Hello bros and welcome to SFX0 BroFive production. Next up, Sakura Gamer 2. So, we pinned Kurumi against the wall with a very determined expression on her face, clearly to talk some sense into her. I pinned her against the wall before she can retreat, my hand pressing against the wall, arm raised over her head. Kurumi glares at me, her eyes narrowed. Let me leave. No, I won't. Not until you let me say something in return. My heart is hammering madly in my chest all of a sudden. It feels hard to breathe. This isn't like me. I'm not a confrontational person. I don't like getting involved in arguments. But Kurumi in so much pain, I can't let her walk away. Need to help her. And this is what I won't let her go, even if it makes her hate me. I just want her to know. I do understand how you feel. You might not believe it, but it's true. You and I, we're not all that dissimilar. What do you mean? You're in pain because you're jealous of others succeeded where you failed. I can understand that. Everybody gets jealous from time to time. I'm no exception. When I was in high school, I was horribly jealous of all my classmates. I was shy and awkward and I didn't have any friends. I wanted to talk to people, but whenever I tried, I just froze up. The only friends I had were on the other side of the computer screen. That's how I met Clover. If it weren't for her, I'd probably be alone by now. It's shameful to admit it, but when I ate my lunch alone on the rooftop, I used to curse all my other classmates. They made getting along with other people seem so easy. They always laughed and smiled, as though they didn't have any cares in the world. Sometimes I wondered if there was something fundamental wrong with me. Was I broken? Maybe I wasn't a real human being. But as time passed, I began to see it another way. Eventually, I started to blame other people for my inability to make friends. They made my loneliness easier to bear, but it didn't help my problem. In fact, it became even more isolated. I became a bitter, angry, and critical. In the end, I started to hate myself. If I hadn't moved in with Clover when I did, I think my own insecurity might have destroyed me. Just like you hate is destroying you. I see. Kurumi looks at me, blinking slowly. She seems more docile than she did before. At least she doesn't try to push me away, and neither does she shout at me. But in a lie of anger, I can see something even more disturbing in her eyes. Now she looks empty. Maybe you're right. Maybe we're not that different after all, but what am I supposed to do now? I worked hard on that game, so did my seniors. We all wanted it to be a success, and we did everything we could, but it still wasn't good enough. Why didn't people like it? Why didn't we sell more copies? Why didn't everybody ignore us? I'm sorry, but I don't have any answers for you. In the end, rotten thought it sounds, I think success comes down to what the general public wants. It's the audience that decide which game will be popular, not the creators. All we can do is create and hope that people out there will like it. But we can't expect anything. The average consumer will have no idea how much effort a creator put into the passionate project. And even if they did, they have no obligation to care. The creators and the consumers are strangers after all. Kurumi glances down at her shoes, silent, her eyes half-lidded. It stings, but you're right. I know you're right. Attacking you guys yesterday was a huge waste of time. Dragging you guys down with me want to reverse the huge failure my first project was. I can't turn back time. It's too late to help Risa and Koyum now. We worked hard, but our story was a failure, and that's all there is to it. You think it was a failure? I frowned. Maybe it was a commercial sense, but did Risa and Kazumi feel like that? Of course they did. They always dreamed of publishing a visual novel. And you did that, didn't you? You worked on a project together and you saw it through until the very end. That's not something people can say. Your story was an accomplishment, whether or not it achieved commercial success. And I'm sure your seniors were happy in the end. They never said they were making a visual novel so they could make money, did they? Well, no, I guess not. Risa and Kayuma always said they loved hanging out together. They told me I shouldn't worry too much when we failed to sell many copies, but you felt like you betrayed them. Yeah, that's right. I wanted our project to do well for their sake. I wanted to make them happy. That was very kind of you, but I think your expectations you placed on yourself were unfair. If Koyum and Risa are anything like Suki and Clover, then they would be happy to simply spend time with you. When we first started making Miko May, we didn't do it because we wanted to be rich. We just wanted to have fun. Making a game had been one of our dreams for a long while, and while a visual novel wasn't what I'd had in mind, it was still fun to create. I felt very lucky I could make a story with my two friends. And even if if it hadn't sold, I would have considered my time well spent. I'm sure Koyoma and Risa felt the same way about you, Kurumi. That's what they told me, yes, but yes, they said I shouldn't worry, but I... Kurumi blinks at me, her eyes tearful. She sniffs, her shoulders trembling. I felt ashamed and embarrassed, and I couldn't look at my seniors without thinking about my failure. We used to be good friends, but in the end I felt guilty and ashamed. I turned my back on them. I ruined our friendship. I ruined everything, all because of my rotten feelings of indecency. I really am a terrible friend. After confronting Kurumi, the two of us exit the cafe. Kurumi's Sundays hasn't arrived yet, but the patrons of the cafe are all giving us curious looks. I'd rather not sit there and endure the icy stares. We walk down the street on our footsteps echoing company against the sidewalk. Eventually we find ourselves back at the small park where we first met Kurumi. Sits down on a bench beneath a tall sycamore tree and sits down beside her. She looks down at her shoes thoughtfully, but every once in a while she lifts her head. Our eyes meet and she glances to one side, her face pink. Her gentle wind caress my cheek and frets the ends of my silver hair. The water in the fountain ripples. In the distance a dog barks and a young boy laughs as a girl tangles her feet up in a skipping rope. Kurumi looks at me frowning. Hey, Nekohime. Yes? What is it? Well, I just wanted to thank you, I guess. You're thanking me for exactly... I don't know. All sorts of things, really. For not being pissed at me after I said all those rude things yesterday, and for comforting me I felt down. You made me feel better, though you didn't need to. I guess you're a pretty nice person after all. I can be pretty rude. Or well, I always said I just want to help people, so... Not really, I just wanted to help. When I saw you upset you were, I knew I could leave you to your own, or I would have felt awful. So you pitied me. I don't know if it made me feel any better, but I guess I have shown a pretty pitiable side of myself to you, huh? Kurumi sniffs and wipes her eyes with the back of her arm. My eyes are still stinging. Kurumi isn't crying anymore, but her eyes are red and puffy from her breakdown in the cafe. If it wasn't mentally the person myself, maybe I looked down on Kurumi for her blowout in the public, as I'm sure a lot of people in the cafe did, but as a person who's often beset with anxiety and self-doubt, I can't understand how she feels. Sometimes it's hard to keep our emotions buried. The harder we try to squash them, the more they pile up inside our hearts, until the dam bursts and we break. Crying might be embarrassing, but it can help. It's alright, you don't need to be embarrassed. I cried a lot in my time too. I think we might be quite similar, you and I. Well, thanks, I'm glad I'm not totally alone. You're a pretty nice person, but Kurumi stabs her fingers in my direction since we're sitting next to one another in a bench. She almost takes my eye out. It doesn't mean I like your stories, okay? I still think the fanservice visual novels are cheap, especially when every single CG shows bored boobs and butts for no reason. It's hard for readers to become emotionally invested in our characters if they only see them as walking slabs of meat, and it can ruin the emotional stakes of a story if the girls are always tipping up and inexplicably exposing their panties. It just doesn't feel realistic. The fan service Miko made feel totally disconnected from reality. It's like the characters exist only in pander to an audience instead of fulfilling their own roles. You put a lot of thought into Mika Maid, haven't you? Well, yeah, but it's not because I like it or anything. It's a total opposite. Mika Maid was popular, so I wanted to study it to see why it succeeded where I failed. And you were disappointed. Immeasurably. The more I tried to analyze it, the more irritated I got. But can you blame me? You might be the writer, but even you have to admit the plot's flimsy and there's way too much sex. Well, maybe. But there's nothing wrong with the stories having sex in them. I used to be a bit of a prude myself, and I wasn't very interested in porn. I thought it was a waste of time, but that doesn't mean other people can't enjoy it. There's nothing shameful about liking fan service or porn. Well, maybe. Kramer folds one leg over the other. She still doesn't look convinced, but at least she doesn't look as irritated as she did before. Have I managed to reach her? I don't think I'll be able to fully convince Kurumi that loot storage can have merits, but maybe that's fine. We have our own tastes. It's a shame a large chunk of visual novels audience don't share Kurumi's, but it's what it is. It is. I wonder how you became popular so fast, though. I don't get it. Don't worry about it too much. I doubt it lost. Megami was successful, and it looks like the sequel will be too, but we can't keep churning out similar stories. It might be a popular formula right now, but people will get tired eventually. Our audience aren't our friends, they're consumers, and when they lose interest in our products, they take their business elsewhere. They're not obligated to keep supporting us. We're doing well now, but it won't last. Nothing does. You're probably right about that. You're more pragmatic than I thought. I must say, I don't hate it. In a way, it's impressive that you keep going knowing it all coming crashing down at some point. If I had known my first project would flop, would I have been able to keep at it? I'm not sure. I don't think I'm as resilient as you, but I like to learn how. I might even look up to you just a little, so... Kurumi takes my hands in her own, suddenly excited. Would you let me help you out? I know you still have a few copies of Mika Made 2 to sell, and I bet your table will be busy. You need all the hands you can get, so why don't you let me tag along? Eh? You're being serious about this? As serious as I ever been. I want to spend more time with you, and I want to learn how to be cool like you. From now on, you'll be my teacher. So please educate me properly, Miss Nekohime. Well, this turned out unexpectedly. That's how I end up at Manga Market Kurumi in tow. I'm glad she's not upset anymore. She's in such high spirits she's even whistling. But I'm a little worried about what happen when Suki claps eyes on her. Kurumi didn't make the best first impression, and I don't think Suki likes her very much, or Clover for that matter. Will they scold her, shout at her, tell her to get lost? If they did be well within their rights, Kurumi didn't do much to ingratiate herself with us, but I don't want to upset her, not when we finally made our connection. Kurumi trusts me like nobody else. She even called me teacher like I'm some kind of role model. I don't think anybody's ever looked up to me before. It's a new feeling, and I kinda like it. I don't think I'll be able to stand losing my cute disciple now. But if Suki and Clover object to Kurumi's presence, how would I side with? Well, technically here, I would side with Suki and Clover because Kurumi did go far out of bound. I have to pick them, wouldn't I? No matter how flattering it is to have an apprentice, Kurumi still our enemy. It'd be nice if we could all get along, but... And they came, watch out. All of a sudden I feel Kurumi's fingers are on my arm. I was lost in my own thoughts, I didn't realize, but they were already back at Manga Market. This is the final day of the convention, but the building's still jam-packed with people. In fact, I think there might even be more people here than there were yesterday. So much for Chloe's reassurance that crowd would thin out. If Kurumi hadn't stopped me, I would have walked headfirst into a group of people and queening up at the nearby table. I'm sorry, I didn't see you there. I bowed my head and the group almost mowed over, then hurried off, blushing. Kurumi follows at my heels as obedient as a puppy. When she isn't picking fights and being confrontational, she is surprisingly cute. Thank you for warning me back there. It's no problem, I could see you a world of your own. Really though, Teach, you should try to be more careful. You're not setting a very good example to your only student. Yeah. Alright, I take it back. Maybe Kurumi isn't cute at all. Even when she's obediently following orders, she's still known it all. Oh well, I guess Kurumi wouldn't be Kurumi if it wasn't a little aggravating that one of her core character traits. Now let's find Suki and Clover. They've been dealing with this crowd on their own for a few hours, and I bet they're in need of a break. I think our table was this way, maybe. I mean, you don't know. Give me a break. This building is huge. It's crowded with people. I can barely see a foot in front of me. My face. Huh. Now that's strange. What is? I never pegged you as a sort that was bad with direction. You sounded so capable when you talked to me earlier. About a lot of things. Indulging, including writing porn, apparently. Thanks for the boost to my self-confidence, Kurumi. Alright, fine. I guess I have to take short. I know exactly where your table is. Follow me. And how do you know that? I looked at the floor plan that was posted at Manga Market website, of course. I memorized the location of all the tables, but yours in particular. Don't you think that's impressive? Aren't you gonna praise me? It is impressive, yes. There are hundreds of tables at the convention. I can't imagine memorizing all their locations. But why didn't you focus on our table in particular? It isn't because you were planning to pick a fight, was it? From my BroFive. Hey, did you come to the convention solely to confront us? No, of course not. I mean, this isn't the only reason. Well, it was a reason. Maybe. But why do you care? It's working out in your favor, isn't it? Now stop babbling and follow me. Kurumi cuts through the sea of people, her head high, arms swinging to one and fro like a soldier. I hurry after her, my fingers gripping the back of her shirt. I don't want to risk being parted from her. There are too many people crammed into the center. I'm afraid that were we to lose sight of one another, I never find her again. And trots of people brush around me from all sides. I'm nudged by elbows, hit with bags, and one person even steps on my foot. I was in pain, but I don't apologize. They're in such a hurry to get over to a table before all their items sell out that I don't think they even realize. The place is a pandemonium. Don't fall behind, Kurumi. Keep pace with me. I'll keep you safe. Thanks, Kurumi. My fingers dig into the fabric of her shirt more tightly than before. In this hot, cramped environment, she is my shiny beacon of hope. Regardless of how Suki and Clover will react when they see me with Kurumi, I'm pretty glad I let her come with me. If it weren't for her guidance, I'd be lost. Voices crash around me like waves. They dig into my ears, splashing against my skull. Their rank, fetid aroma of sweat hangs heavy in the air. Just like a shroud, I make the mistake of breathing through my nostrils, and I choke. Yeah, that happens. You think people would have the decency to at least use deodorant, but I guess not. Sounds like you're used to this. Have you been a lot of conventions, Kurumi? I go to Manga Market during the summer and winter. And I go to a lot of smaller conventions too. But why? It will probably sound kind of silly, but I always want to see if my seniors from the Gamers Club back at school had joined any circle. I was hoping to be able to run into them so I could congratulate them. I really want to see them again. Then why don't you message them on social media? Wouldn't that be easier than going to convention across Japan hoping to bump into them? No way, I can't do that. Why not? It'd be awkward, especially since I let them graduate without saying goodbye. If I'm gonna see them again, it has to be an accident. Does it count as an accident if you're looking for them? A careful staged accident then. Don't be so picky about the semantics. Jeez. You have too much pride. And you don't have enough of it. If you're okay with writing porn for a living. I thought you had gotten past this. Didn't you say you respected me? I guess... Sorry. Old habits die hard. Anyway, we're nearly there. We just need to turn this corner and then... I see the familiar table I have Suki and Clover set up. Cardboard standees of Miko made characters are dotted here and there, and there are several large posters set up in Miko made characters and bowls on them. All of them are though from Sakura Cupid. But who knows? Maybe she had her own story afterwards. Megame 2 shares opening music plays from a widescreen TV set up on our table, and the animated opening repeats on a loop. They're standing behind the table are Clover and Suki, and they're not alone. There's a huge crowd clustered about the table, stretching back as far as the eye can see. People are crammed about our table, desperate to buy the remaining copies of Miko Made 2. At least I assume that's why they're there, but why is there an old woman standing at the front of the queen? She doesn't look like the typical manga market visitor. Her hair is thin and grey and piled in a bun on the top of her head. She is wearing a traditional kimono despite sweltering heat, with long sleeves and tight obi. Her feet, meanwhile, are clad in white socks and wooden sandals. Her face is lined and her body is small and stooping. But there's something unnerving about the hardness of her sharp, narrowed eyes. She almost reminds me of a hawk surveying its prey. Hey Nikahime, who's this old lady? What is she doing here? I don't know. She looks familiar though. I think I might have seen her before. And then the penny drops. Realization dawns. I know who this woman is. I've seen her before, but it was under vastly different circumstances. This is the old lady I met at the shrine of Kusa. She's the one who wanted my help after she posted kernels of rice into the D drive of her laptop. Then that must mean... Susie Kiko, explain yourself. What in the world are you doing in a miserable den of depravity like this? This woman is Suki's grandmother. I managed to pinpoint the old woman's identity, but that only leaves me with more questions. What is she doing here? How did she know Suki would be here, and what does she want from her? Suki seems to be thinking much the same thing, because she says tremulously, Grandma, what are you doing here? Now, Tsukiko, is that any way to speak to me? Oh, I'm sorry? Suki coughs, clears her throat, and tries again. To what do I owe the pleasure of seeing you on this pleasant day? Suki tries to sound unconcerned, but her voice is trembling, so are her legs. Suki has always been such a confident woman, but the mere presence of her grandmother has turned her into a quivering little girl again. I wonder if it's an unexpectedness of this encounter that's make her tremble so much. Anybody would be shocked. But Suki doesn't look surprised. She looks scared. I think it should be rather obvious, don't you? Suki casts a disapproving look at the cardboard standees, the widescreen TV and the boxes of Miko Made 2 displayed on the table. I come to take you back home. Back home? But why? It's been more than a year, Tsukiko. You left without saying a word, and you broke my heart. You should count yourself lucky. Your parents are both abroad, and they have no idea of your deceit, or they would have were out of their minds. They entrusted me to look after you, and that is precisely what I intend to do. Now come, his silliness has gone on long enough. Silliness? You mean to say my pursuing my own dream is silly? Indeed, it is the height of foolishness. Just look around you, Tsukiko. Sukarama turns back, staring at the crowd of curious onlookers clustered about the table. Most of them are men, anyway, from 18 to 40. Clutching bags filled with merchandise, half-naked anime girls. You do not belong here. You are a young flower, and as such you need to be nurtured in a fitting environment. I will not have you mixing with crowds like this. Hey, that isn't very nice. There's nothing wrong with our fans. We love and value them all, no matter how sweaty they might be. I'm sorry, but I didn't ask for your opinion. Suki grandmother shouts Clover a piercing glare. If I wanted your input, I would ask for it, though I doubt you have anything of real importance to say. Your clothes are utterly scandalous. You might be so stupid you cannot wear a shirt that fits you, But I hope you at least have enough sense to hold your tongue when I'm trying to talk to my beloved granddaughter. Hey, I'm not stupid. I used to be a teacher. And what did you teach him? Belly dancing? No. I worked at the elementary school, taught math and geographic and stuff. Then I fear for the youth of today. If I lose a woman such as yourself, I'll be able to land such an important job. And that's where I beat her. I seriously land the first punch there. And see if she actually have things to say more to that, she get more. But seriously, she deserves it. She might be an old woman, but that doesn't mean she can just be like that. I mean, I have a very high tolerance for stuff, but when people get above that tolerance, they better run for their lives. Alice, I didn't come here to bail off a state of public education, which is appealing, by the way. Bye. I don't remember. Come here, Tsukiko, say goodbye to your little friends and leave this place behind you. Suki bites her lower lip. She looks down at the ground, her fingers twitching at her sides. No. Well, was that Tsukiko? I said no. I already ran away from you once, Grandma. I already like to come back. Why, of all the insolence. Suki Grandma takes a step back, her face pale as a death mask. How dare you refuse me, Tsukiko? Do you have no filial love in your heart? How could you ignore my heartfelt pleas when I was I who fed you and dressed you and bathed you during your childhood? I gave you my life to raising you on your parents' behalf. The least you could do is show me some respect. I respect you when you respect me, you old hag. I don't know how you figured out I was here, but it doesn't matter. I won't come back. I want to pursue my dreams. Your dreams. And what in the world do dreams have? You're not a child anymore, and it's time to face reality. We can't all do what we want in life. You're right, I'm not a child, and I'm legally old enough to make my own decisions. I'm in my 20s, and I have no obligation to keep living with a bitter old woman like you. You forget I cared for you when you were young, and I made you what you are. How can you turn your back on me now after everything I've done? Oh, that's easy. You made it easy. It would have been nicer to me running away from away would have been so much harder, but you made my life a misery when I lived with you. You were always so strict that nothing I did or said was ever good enough, so I decided to find people who would accept me in the way I am. You wanted people to accept you. I see. It's clear to me that you don't wish to improve yourself. Instead, you want to surround yourself with lazy slatters who will let you indulge your vices. That may be enough to make you happy, Tsukiko, but it isn't for me. I poured years upon years into your education. I done my best to turn you into a perfect lady, and I will not have you thrown it back in my face. Do you not see what you're doing right now? It's pursuing your dreams as you call them. It is only turning you into a joke. Like I care about that. I just want to be happy. Besides, you never once respected me. No matter what I did, I'm used to disappointment by now. It's not like your words can hurt me. That's what Suki says, but she's shaking like a leaf in the wind. I think her grandmother can see this too. She only needs to deliver one more blow, and then she tears Suki's resolve into shreds for good. What a frightening, indomitable woman. She might be old with wrinkled skin and stuffed back, but she's just as fearsome as a dragon. It's not easy to break me down, though. I heard you with the words I hurt you with words, Suzuki, because I don't want to hurt yourself with your poor decisions. No matter what you do, you are my granddaughter, and I do love you. Suzuki snorts grandma, and her grandmother frowns. You might doubt this, but it's true. Everything I do and say is for your benefit. I don't want you wasting your time drawing nude artwork and dressing in skimpy clothes. Nobody will respect you then. You're ruining your image, not to mention your future prospects. You look foolish, and I'm not the only one who thinks that. Other people have derided you far more cruelly than I have. Other people? Suga blinks grandma, curious despite herself. What do you mean? I saw the videos Sakura sent to me. That's how I knew you were here. You were wrecked across the coast by that other girl. She said all sorts of horrible things to you, and the worst part about it was I agreed with her. That girl isn't the only one who this rages you. I now found some reviews for so-called stories, so that you've been doing with your time. It isn't all that is it, and they all said much the same thing. They said your stories are worthless. I'm sure that's why all these people showed up at this event. It's because they want to laugh at you. No. Yes, it's true. You know it to be so. Now come with me and let's put all this nonsense behind us. Looking at you in this state is making me feel sick. Sue opens her mouth, but the words catch in her throat. She winces and stares at her feet. She's trembling. Do I really make you feel sick? Indeed, you do. But worry not, we make a mistake in our youth. Even I disobey my family on occasion. Sue's mother looks at one of the cardboard stands. This pregnant. Though of course I was never this to this magnitude. Still, I suppose it's inevitable. We have always been stubborn in our family. It can be a positive, you know. It only if only you would direct your efforts to more worthwhile endeavors. Now come along, dear. All this can still be forgiven. I do love you, you know. Suzuki, go, please. Don't hesitate. Do you really want to remain in the limelight like this? I can't pretend to understand the internet by myself, but doesn't receiving all those mocking comments hurt? If you mind my advice, none of this would be happening. Nobody would say cruel things about you. You just need to know your place. Suki sniffs. Though I tried to support her intentionally, willing Suki to stand up on her ogre of a grandmother, I know it's already too late. Suki was able to withstand the barrage of angry remarks from Kurumi yesterday, but Kurumi was a stranger. Suki had no fond feelings for her. The conflict is different. This isn't a stranger, it's Suki's grandmother. This is somebody Suki knows who she loves, and who she trusts. Suki was able to run away once, but I think she feels guilty about deserting her elderly caretaker, though she always laughed when I brought the subject up. Suki isn't heartless, she cares. And having your dreams torn down by somebody you love hurts. I didn't want to admit it. I always try to keep a brave face on, no matter what. I mean, I'm the creative head of our group. I'm the one in charge. I'm the one who said, hey, let's make a game. So, I figured it was my responsibility to stay strong no matter what happened. I did my best too. I really truly tried, but Suki raised her head, sniffles, her eyes shining. As tears begin to drip down her cheeks. You're right, grandmother. I guess you really do know me better than anybody. This is it's crazy, you know. I might be stubborn, but all those cruel comments still hurt. I want to support Nekohime because I know she's more insecure than I am. But I get insecure about things too. I worry and I get anxious and I get scared, but I'm the leader, so nobody there to comfort me. Sometimes it all gets too much. Suki cries openly, just like a small child. Her eyes are red raw and her shoulders are shaking uncontrollably. I already made a lot of enemies online. I don't want to make an enemy of my family too. I know I said mean things about your grandma, but I really do love you. And I love you too, Tsushikiko. Silly and friendshipful though you may be. Now, why don't you come here? I'm your grandmother after all. Nobody understands you like I do. And nobody else will be able to wipe your tears. You're more fragile than you let on. That's why you need to take care of you. You never should have run away. Oh, Grandma. I never liked agreeing with you, but maybe you're right. I'm too friendshipful to take on too much responsibility, and then I crash and burn. I can't tackle everything on my own, so Suki breathes in deeply. Maybe I should go back after all. That's wrong! No! No way! I stand there blankly immobile like a scarecrow. I can hardly believe my own ears, but Suki just said she was going to go back. She's going to return to her grandmother's house. What will happen then? What about Miko-May? What about our friendship? Will I ever see Suki again? I can't let that happen. I want to call out to her, but do I really have any right to stop her? If I were stronger and more self-confident, maybe none of this would happen. It's because Suki had to worry about me and my own fragile ego that she got so burned out. This is my fault. So I should stand back and let it happen. I don't have a right to intervene. This is all my fault. Hey, Nekohime. I wish my temples to smarting and glance at Kurumi. Did she just hit me? What was that for? Oh, don't ask me that, and don't give me those puppy dog eyes either. You know exactly why I did that. I needed to bring you to your senses. But why? There's nothing I can do. That's why you might think, but you're wrong. Weren't you the one who gave me the speech earlier? You cheered me up when I felt down, so why don't you do the same to Suki? She's your friend. You told me you spent a lot of precious time together with her. You can't stand back now and let that fall to ruin. I know, but this is a family matter. I'm not related, so I have no right to interrupt. You might not be related by blood, but some ties are even stronger than that. You care about Suki, or at least I thought you did. That's what you told me. You made me realize how abominably I treated my own friends. So can't stand back and let this happen. There's no way you're really okay with this. And even if you are, I'm not. I don't want you guys to break up. But Kurumi, isn't that why you came to Manga Market in the first place? You wanted us to quit making visual novels. You said we were a disgrace to the industry. I said a lot of things. I still agree with a lot of what I said, actually, but I don't want to see you give in. Not that this easily. You already weathered a lot of storms. This is just another trial in your way you can overcome it. You have to, because I don't know, you won't be able to spend time with Suki again. Everything you've done and everything you worked for, it'll all be for nothing. Kurumi, you... I blink at my feisty companion, momentarily taken aback. She sounds just as passionate that she did yesterday, only now she isn't trashing our hard work and telling us to quit. Instead, she wants us to keep going. She wants me to keep going. It's funny how things can change. People really are fickle, and so are their moods. But there is one thing I do know. No matter how many hardships she faced alone, Suki doesn't want to disband our group. I know she doesn't. She feels lost and confused right now, and her grandmother is taking advantage of that. But I can't let Suki fall into her clutches. Her grandmother might be a family, but Clover and I are friends, and we care about her too. We care about her dreams. We want her to be happy. And she won't be happy if she has to live in a life in denial, repressing her true desires. That's why I raise my head and stare at Suki's grandmother down, my eyes narrowed, then I shout. No. Don't do it, Suki. This isn't what you want. Huh? Suki turns around like a sleepwalker, her eyes glassy. What was that? Nakamima, is that you? That's right, it's me. I arrived a little late, so I apologize, but I'm here now, and I'm going to do my duty as a member of our group. My legs are shaking and my throat feels dry. My heart won't stop hammering, and my face is burning. I can feel hundreds of curious eyes fixed upon me. I'm the center of attention. I might as well have a spotlight trained on me. I never liked being too conspicuous. I used to stammer and blush badly whenever I had to read my work aloud at school, and there were only 30 kids in my class. His own is one on a totally different level. The pressure is intense, but I can't give up now. This is for Suki's sake, so I need to be strong. I won't let myself give in. Oh, and who are you? Are you another one of Suki's so-called friends? Yes, that's right, I am. Suki is very dear to me, and that's why I have to speak up. I can't let her go away with you. And who are you to say what my granddaughter can and cannot do? She's already made up her mind. You wouldn't be much of a supportive friend if you didn't listen to my Tsukiko's wishes. Then sheer injustice of these words sting. I look at the ground, wincing, my brow furrowed. Don't twist this so. I sound like a bad guy. You're the one who isn't listening to Suki. She said she didn't want to go back with you, but you wouldn't accept that. You keep pushing and pushing at her, picking away at her self-confidence bit by bit until she crumbled. What kind of grandmother would do something that cruel? Not even parents would be that callous. You don't know what you're talking about, little girl. You're nothing but an outsider. You're not involved in any of this. I am involved. I count so loudly I fear my vocal cords will tear. My body is shaking and my brow is flushed with sweat. But still I can't give in. Suki is my friend and I love her, and I want her what's best for her. She said she was going to go back with you, but I know that's not what she wants. Don't be so presumptuous. You may be Tsukiko's friend, but I am her grandmother. Her rightful place is with me. It's where she belongs. No, that's your own self-perception of the world. Suki has no obligation to stay with you, even if you are family. Not if you're trying to cut her down like this. You can't force her to come back with you. She's an adult and she can decide on her own future. And I don't think this is the future she wants. What do you have to say, Suki? To Tsukiko, tell her this insolent girl the truth. You want to come home with me, don't you? Suki. To Tsukiko. Suki glances between the two of us helplessly. To betray her grandmother or to pursue her dreams is a difficult position to be in. I don't envy her, but... Suki, please. I've lived with you for almost a year, and I like to think I know you. You were always an enthusiastic when we talked about making games together. You were the one who suggested the idea, and you were the one who talked me into it, even though I was hesitant. I tried to refuse you, but your enthusiasm won me over. I thought you were an amazing, shining person who never gave up, no matter what. I admired you, and I want to be like you. But now I know I relied on you a little too much. No matter how amazing you're a person just like everybody else. You get tired and you get upset and you get burned out. But I never think any less of you. I admire you. And even if if you stumble, I'll be there to support you. I always want to be by your side. That's because I care about you. Nekuhime. Nekuhime. Suka looks at me, sniffing, her eyes wide. Before with a shock the emotional star, she dashes forwards. We're gonna see the result next time, because my throat is close to dying, pretty much, and I need to rest and drink some more water to moisten it up a bit. But that doesn't mean that was all I have for Sakura Gamer 2 this time. So hit like and subscribe. We'll see you next time. Bye bye.